Hello, today we are going to discuss about one of the most challenging part in reading of OET, that is reading part C. Most of the candidates are having extreme difficulty when doing the part C. So just comment on the challenge that you're having while doing the part C, if it's the speed reading, if it's the understanding, or you just zone out when you are doing reading part C. So you can mention in the comments so that we can answer and help you to get rid of the problem you're facing. Now, heading toward the part C, what we have in the reading part C, if you're a beginner even, so just to tell you that or guide you that we have two texts that are entirely different from each other related to any of the aspect of the healthcare. Mostly these are research-oriented articles or academia-oriented articles. The plus point in reading part C is most of the time the questions are in the sequence. So there will be a sequential order of the question in part C. So it would be easy for you to start the question. Like the first question should be in the first part of the text. There are three different nature of question. The first type of question are explicit in nature. It means that there is no hidden meaning or quite obvious meaning question. The second type of question are inferential in meaning or inference or implicit type of question where you have to infer the answer. It might not be direct answer. Third type of question are vocabulary based question or to test your coherence ability, whether you would be able to extract the contextual meaning of the text. So here you can see on the screen, we are going to start the discussion on some cases that can help you to understand reading part C. There are some other type of question or the skill that they will be testing for to test your ability to extract the main idea or the source main idea. Like some of the time, they might not be asking you the specific detail. You have to understand and read the whole paragraph and extract the main idea or what is the central point of the paragraph that has been discussed in the paragraph. At times, they can ask you about the writer opinion, the attitude, and so on in reading part C. In this video, we'll be discussing few types of questions to help you understand reading part C and the possible challenges. There will be some strategies that you need to practice because initially it will be hit and trial for you to identify the right method for you. So in this video, we are going to help you out and understanding of the question with some examples. So you can see on screen, we have a question. It's kind of explicit question. There is almost no paraphrasing in this question. You have some time to read the question. You can pause the video and solve this question, and then we will discuss. So here you can see there are certain options. So what we can do in reading part C, as we can do in part B as well, one of the approach, specifically when you have a small text, you can just read the question. Let's say the question is the writer regards the study of children in foster care as significant because. So we need to find the reason that why this study was significant, or another way around, the conclusive finding of the study, what has been discussed in the text. So when you read the text after 2 minutes, I hope you have selected some answer. So now we can do the solution for this answer that when we read this text, some of you may have selected the B as answer because this line, researcher also found mean that it's also a conclusion or the research finding of the scientists that children with ADHD in foster care were more likely to have another disorder such as depression or anxiety. So basically, you can see that might be related to this line, focus on children known to have complex mental disorder, but this is not the reason that it is significant. Like we have this statement, somehow you may have select this answer. I'm just using this statement B as a distractor because when we practice in class in our online session, some of the students would select this B as answer, and when we discuss with them, we came to know that this is the line that compelled them to choose this answer, and they got confused with a complex word. Although it's a complex disorder, that's why they say it's a significant. However, we goes on to read this information. The finding certainly reveals that need for medical and behavioral services for those children, but it can also provide the non-specific nature of ADHD symptom. Again, it's also a complex mental disorder that can be mistakenly for manifestation of ADHD. So that's why difficulty of distinguishing is being substituted. Sometimes they use the synonyms, however, sometimes they use the substitute words. Now, substitute words, I would say, is not exactly the same meaning words, but they can change. They can change the words, but not the meaning. For example, here can be mistakenly or difficulty of distinguishing ADHD from other condition. So in theme wise, it will give you the same meaning. So it's a quite simple question that has been written directly in the text. There is no inferential meaning in the information. Anyhow, I hope that this strategy will help you to understand this question. If you still have any question, you can add it on the comment and we will definitely answer you. Now we can move on to the next type of question. Now this question is bit tricky, easy, but bit tricky type of question. You have some time to read this question. You can pause the video, take 2 minutes time to solve this question. After that, we'll help you to design the answer. Now, I believe that you have done the solution to this question. Let's see what is the answer. So let's see when we read this thing. So we believe that you work on the method of elimination. What you have done, you just have read the question, like what does Dr. Saul object to? You have the question in mind. Do not read the option now. Go to the paragraph and have the detailed reading. Meaningful reading should be done. Remember that in part C, do not rush to finish the reading part C. You must do the meaningful reading. Read slowly, gently, with understanding. Because when you do read it slowly, gently, and try to develop the understanding, it would be easy for you to eliminate this answer. So when we read this question, we can see that the solution to this question at this point, it can lead toward the D, the treatment of ADHD suggested by Dr. Barclay. So we can say, oh my, D can be the answer. When we goes on and read the paragraph, so from this statement, although some patient might need stimulants to function well in daily life, it's something that being said by Dr. Barclay. So it's not the D then, we can negate D easily. However, we can see that as per Dr. Barclay, he said that, we need some stimulants well in daily life. But if we can combine these all vague symptom as being written over here, uh, tendency to lose things or to be forgetful or distracted, under such subjective criteria, the entire population could potentially qualify. So he disagree with this point that the grouping of imprecise symptoms into a mental disorder. So this is the reason that he disagree with, or he has some reservation with that. So this is the answer. I believe that you would be able to understand this explanation. If you still have any question, please write in the comment. We'll try to answer and try to explain in detail. Followed by, this is the guided study program. Okay, now you can see on screen, we have a detailed program for those people who will be joining us in our gold package. So we have 3 weeks live classes. If you are from any part of the world, the time zones are flexible. You can join at any time as per your availability. There are different time of the day we will be having class on the different subtests. Okay, here you see there is a quick review of our course. There is a live classes, new session every Monday, followed by the weekly mocks with a complete comprehensive feedback and discussion on every Monday. Then we have 20 mocks. This is specifically for the nursery we have started, but if you're a doctor, pharmacist, you can avail this course. There will be complete mock every day with feedback and discussion classes once or twice in a week by our trained, professional, qualified team members that are being run, designed, and taken by the doctors. So there are doctors who will be discussing the problem you are having in your writing and speaking. And lastly is the grand mock. There are 17 number of mocks before your test. So join this M&M to pass your OET in the first go. So moving on toward the reading part C now. In reading part C, the next type of question, we can see that this question is a bit tricky. So read this question statement first. What aspect of our finding surprise? So this is high tone word, what I would say. This high word. Do not get confused with such word in the paragraph that less likely they are going to use the high word to give you the answer. What I mean by that, if you can see the next answer, specifically worrisome, that can be distracted. Okay, and the similar word, if they use the similar word in the option, first of all, you should try your level best to negate that option. Remember that most of the students are having problem in part C if they see a word or part of the statement or the whole statement having the same word in the statement and in the text, they select this answer irrespective of the fact either is being asked or not. Similarly, as you can see here, it's been written, uh, found structural changes in cortical neuron of mice when animals are kept awake. So it's almost the same. Cortical neuron of the mice underwent some structural changes. It's written, but it's not the surprising finding. You can see again the high tone was specifically, you can say, saw sign of mitochondrial activation, right? And which makes sense. So it makes sense. It's not a surprising thing. So we can easily negate this option B. And the next option is somehow written. This there was evidence of increased need of energy. It's written over there. Neuron need more energy to stay, whatever. But again, it's the continuation of the same theme that makes sense. So we cannot say it's a surprising factor. And the third is the neurological response to sleep deprivation only took few hours to become apparent. So, but it's worrisome because it's only 4 hours of sleep deprivation, let's say. So basically, that might be distracted for you. But this line is written with not high tone, but it's the answer. After 36 hours of sleep recovery, during a period during which she expected normalcy to resume, those changes remain. So no reversal has been explained in this way. There is no, those changes remain. It means that there was no reversal of certain effects of sleep deprivation. So, like still, if you have any question, write in the comment so that we can try to explain to you. Okay, so followed by this question. This is the last question in our today's discussion. You can see it's a kind of question that may indicate you that answer might not be directly extracted from the text, and you have to connect. For example, in the final paragraph, the quote from Venkater is used to suggest that. Let's say we have 2 minutes time to read the question that will discuss. So if you have read this question, you can see that, as I mentioned, that this is something that might be tricky for you. So when we read this option, it's been, the word has been used over here, but but that word is being used to, you can say, to support the previous argument. But with so much of our psychology affected, an effective therapy other than sleep itself is hard to imagine. People like to define a clear pathway of action for health condition, says Venkater. When with sleep deprivation, everything you may hear is affected, right? So you can see that the question is asking that why this word has been used to support this argument that it could be difficult to develop any treatment for sleep deprivation, right? So you can see this is just the explanation of our reading part C. We tried to explain different type of question in this video. If you still have any question, you can write it down in the comment. And if you want to get yourself update on any aspect or change or techniques for OET, for IELTS, for spoken English, for PD, you need to join this channel or subscribe this channel to have complete update. We have another program that we can see 30 seconds for all the people who are enthusiastic enough to engage themselves in, English language. So this 30-second series will help you to learn about different aspect of the English language, either it's a part of speech or the grammatical structure or the vocabulary. So stay tuned to have more knowledge. Thank you very much for your time.